There is a new tool in town and it is called the Football Trading Simulator, which is set to be available for a limited time only. And you might be wondering, is this something you actually need? So in this video, I'll be showing you what it can do and you can decide for yourself. Go grab a nice cold beer or a ramen coke and let's get into it. So when we were creating the Football Trading Simulator, the main idea was to just find a way to predict the in-play prices, because it can be so confusing and overwhelming and for some people a bit of a mystery about where the in-play prices will be at certain times of the match and in certain scenarios. If the away team is winning 1-0 at 65 minutes, I mean, where will all the prices be? So we wanted to create a tool which could allow us to find those prices and find them accurately. Okay, so the Football Trading Simulator is great for beginners in that aspect. Okay, you just plug in the starting prices from any football match that you are interested in, and it will then simulate the in-play prices all the way from the first minute to the final whistle with a very reliable degree of accuracy, which is a plus or minus 10% margin of error. And we're working hard to get that down to a 5% margin of error. Okay, so that is a great way for beginners to use this tool. But once we put that in to the Football Trading Simulator, we soon realized, well, we can do other stuff with this. Okay, and it can be used for strategy creation. Okay, so you can input not only the starting prices, but you can also input bets at certain points of the match, and then you can see how they would move and how they would move in certain scenarios, and you can trade out and create your own little strategy using the tool. And then when you've got an idea for a strategy, well, you can go along and actually test it, especially using the simulate random match feature, which is my personal favorite part of the software. It's actually very, very fun. And I have personally been spending hours fiddling around with this and trying all sorts of scenarios and really trying to push the limits of what the Football Trading Simulator software can do. And I think there is possibly more to come. So based on this, I would actually go as far as saying this is a tool that all football traders, new and old, could find useful in some way. Beginners would definitely find the price prediction part pretty useful. Even the more intermediates, because like I said, there's certain prices where a lot of us just have no clue where that price is going to reset to after a goal in certain scenarios. Okay, and it is pretty accurate. Okay, give or take the 10%. But of course, as you get more advanced with your football trading, you're going to move on to strategy creation, and you're going to be wanting to test your strategy and test it really, really fast as well. You don't have to wait around for days and weeks to try and collect up a sample of trades. You can just run them through the simulator and get a very good idea of how that strategy would play out. But anyway, I'm going to dive behind the software and show you some of these features so you can actually just see it in action and make your own mind up. But before I do that, I would really, really love it if you could smash the like button and help the channel out. It helps us to keep going. It helps us to know which videos you like so we can make more of them. Okay, it only takes you half a second to do. So make sure to hit the like button. Now let's check out the Football Trading Simulator main features. So as I mentioned, with the Football Trading Simulator, it is just a case of taking the starting prices from a football match. You plug it in to the simulator for both the match odds and the goal markets, and then it is going to model all the in-play prices and all the different scenarios that can play out and pretty much predict the future. So you can see we've got Liverpool against Chelsea, and I took this from the actual Liverpool-Chelsea match, and this is the markets. And let me just move the clock forward. You can see Liverpool are favourites, but if it's 45 minutes in, if it's half time, Liverpool would drift out to 2.78, Chelsea would be out to 3.9, the draw would be into 2.62, and then you could just use these buttons to move it along, and you kind of see the markets would move along with it. Similarly with the under 0.5 goals, under 1.5 goals, under 2.5 goals, okay, they're all moving as well. As you can see, under 2.5 goals would be into 1.25 if it is 0-0 at half time, and we can move this forward 10 minutes. Let's move it up to 66 minutes and give you an idea. And you can see in this match by 66 minutes, if you wanted to lay the draw, it should be odds on. It should be around 1.86. So that could be something to consider if you were planning to lay the draw or similar in this match. Okay, so it does just tick forward like a real match. And then, of course, what you can do is you can also see, I mean, if Liverpool were winning at this stage in the match, we enter a goal, and then that changes all the markets. Okay, now Liverpool would be into 1.30 and Chelsea would be out to 22. The draw would be out to 5.4 and all the goal markets would adjust. Okay, and then you can just add in all the different goals that you want. What about if Liverpool were 2-0 up? Then it replicates there as well. Liverpool, it would be into 1.06 by the 66th minute. Okay, so there is all of that, and just going to reset the game and just show you how we could just try a little trade with it. Okay, you can use the tool to predict the future, but what if we wanted to try a little later draw trade? Okay, on this one, let's try this out. We're going to go in, we're going to lay the draw on this one, and then we're going to move it forward, and we're going to give Liverpool a goal after 30 minutes. Okay, so we know Liverpool are going to score a goal after 30 minutes. So you can see that the cash out is moving against us. We'll be minus 123, and it'll be moving against us. That would be our position, 158, until that goal is scored, and then that would be our profit. Okay, £284 if we get that goal after 30 minutes. Okay, so you can decide whether it's worth you getting involved in a later draw for this one. The draw would only really be moving out to fives. Okay, so maybe not worth it. And then what if the goal went the other way? We can take away that goal from Liverpool and give it to Chelsea, and then we can see our overall position, and this would be a much smaller profit if the away team scores. Okay, so you can play your trades out like that, and it's all very realistic. It should all be pretty much tied to the to the real prices, the real market prices, the expected market prices. Okay, because that's how we've designed the software. It's just taking all the market prices from tens of thousands of matches, and then they're displaying it in the model here. But let's show you another trade. What if you wanted to plan out an under 2.5 trade, under 2.5 goals trade at the start of the match? You could assess your position. Okay, so after 5 minutes, using £1,000 stake here, because this is a simulation, so why not use £1,000 stake? £1,000 stake, after 5 minutes, we would have £50 of profit if it is 0-0. And by 10 minutes, we could expect to have made £117 of profit if it is still 0-0. And then by 15 minutes, we could have £179 of profit. Okay, but again, this is how we can predict the future. What if Liverpool were to score around that point? We're looking at £382 loss. Okay, so you can play around with this as much as you like. And like I said, this is the part of the software that is really, really perfect for beginners. If you're trying to learn the markets, trying to work out where prices will be at certain points in the match, at certain minutes and certain scenarios, well, wonder no more. This will do it all for you. You can find out exactly where the prices will be depending who scores, what time, and so on and so on. Okay, unlimited scenarios. You can play with this model as much as you like. So this is the part that's definitely perfect for beginners. But you can also use it to help you predict the future in play as well, depending on the scenario. So if we have a quick look at this market, okay, Fenerbahce against Antalyaspor, 1-0 to the underdog. Fenerbahce out to 3.3, Antalyaspor into 2.5, and the draw at 3.25. Now we've been following this here, and it's pretty similar prices. Okay, we put in the goal that Antalyaspor scored at 11 minutes, and you can see that these are the prices. And if we just tick it forward every minute, it's going to show us where the prices are going to move to in the meantime. Okay, so let me just check on that price there. So Antalyaspor available to lay at 2.52. And remember, there's going to be short-term fluctuations with the prices in the meantime, as the ball just travels from end to end with every attack and all that sort of thing. But what we can do is, you know, I've been watching the past 5 minutes of this, and I can see Fenerbahce do look like they are threatening to equalize. So we could measure and kind of plan out a trade and see what our worst well, best case scenario, worst case scenario is, okay, if we want to lay Antalya, okay, the awaiting. So let's just say we laid them right now and we want to stay in the market till half time, okay, we can move this forward to see where we would be, okay. So let's move the match clock forward, and if there is no goal and it remains 1-0 to Antalyaspor, we're looking at a pretty much a £13.80 loss, okay. That's what we have to expect. That's if we're staying in the market till half time. But if Fenerbahce can score an equalizer before half time, we just type in the goal and we can get an idea of that. And then that would give us a profit of that we could lock in of £61, okay? If we were to just exit out, let's say we exit out immediately after that goal, it came around the 40th minute, then yeah, we can take that profit of £61.41. So that's quite a good bit of upside. However, obviously our worst case scenario is what if Antalyaspor were to double the lead? Then where do we stand? And so that would be our downside, okay, £92.15. So you can quickly weigh up these scenarios using the simulator and then go back to the market and decide on whether you think it's actually worth the risk. I mean, based on the action you're seeing, okay? I'm seeing Fenerbahce getting a lot of the ball and looking like they are going to equalize. So you have to weigh up and decide if it's a risk worth taking, okay? And the simulator will obviously help you hugely with that, okay. We've seen the 3 different scenarios and we can start to weigh it up, okay. So that is another way of using it to predict the future. If we just wind it back to where we were, we can go back and, you know, let's say we didn't like any of those scenarios. What if we wanted to try something different? We can get involved in the goal markets and try all sorts of different things, okay. But I'm going to keep it simple for this video. That's another way of predicting the future. You can use it in play to kind of weigh up your different scenarios and your potential profits and losses. And I just wanted to say, if you are liking the look of this, the current way to get hold of the football trading simulator is via invite only. There should be a link below this video, depending when you're watching it, where you can submit your email address and then we can send you more information depending on availability. That's obviously depending on when you are watching this video. But anyway, look around for that below this video and then submit your very best email address. Submit an email address that you check very regularly, okay? Anyway, let's see what else the simulator can do for you. So here I'm going to show you how you can start to create and plan your own football trading strategies using a football trading simulator, okay? So here we have Man City against Man United. This is a real match from the weekend. These are the real prices and everything like that. However, what we want to kind of create is we want to create a later draw strategy for a match like this, where we have a favorite who is 1.55 and just in that sort of price range. And we want to create a later draw strategy, okay? We're going to keep this as simple as possible, okay? I don't want you to focus on the strategy. I just want you to focus on the demonstration. Now, we want to create a later draw strategy where we're going to later draw. Now, if Man City take the lead, if you know football trading, you know that is all good. The draw price is going to rise, and then we can lock in a profit. However, if Man United take the lead, we want to try a little strategy to see what would happen if we then lay Man United and wait for Man City to get back into it. So we can just run this, okay? We can run this a few different times in different scenarios as well. So click on the draw to lay the draw. We're going to lay the draw here with £1,000, okay? Now, let's just say, and just to show you, for example's sake, that Man City take the lead on the 30th minute. Let's move the clock forward 31 minutes. And you could see that would give us a profit there of £368, okay? And we just press the cash out and exit out, okay? However, of course, football doesn't always go to plan. So we want to try and think of a strategy of what to do when if it's Man United who took a surprise early lead in this one, okay? So Man United take the lead here at the 30th minute. Now we're looking at a £300 loss if we were to exit, okay? However, we don't want to do that. So let's try and lay Man United here. And obviously the next thing to think about is how much do we stake, how much are we going to risk. Again, for this little video, this is all about the demonstration. Okay, but let's just say we want to lay Man United for £500 for this one at the 2.72. Okay, now we wind the clock forward And you can see that as long as Man United are winning, the price is going to keep moving against us, okay? However, let's say half-time, Man City get together and they equalize on the 51st minute. Now, let's move that clock forward and see what that would do for us at 1-1. And so now you can see it's actually not that great, okay? It's not like we can go green, okay, with the 160. It would be a £167 loss even if Man City were to equalize. So what that tells us is that really, if we wanted this to work, we would have to stake more, okay? So let's go back to the 31st minute, and clearly we're going to have to lay Man United with a bigger amount of money, okay, if this strategy is going to work, because we want to try and go green after the equalizer. Now, let's move it forward to the 52nd minute. Still not enough. Okay, so let's go back again. And this is why the simulator is so great, because imagine you were trying this in real life. You would have messed up twice now using real money, okay? Obviously not using £1,000 stakes, but yeah, using any sort of money wouldn't be worth it. But let's move this forward now to 51 minutes and see what this does. All right, so now after that equalizer, we are now all green. And what was a bad situation with the underdog taking the lead is now all good, because we tried that little strategy of lay the draw, then lay the underdog if they take the lead. Obviously, a lot of risk involved, and that's something else you have to consider. But yeah, I would be happy just to cash that out and take the profit after that. Okay. So anyway, that's just one way you can use the simulator. Like I said, it is using it to plan your strategies out in advance. Try all sorts of different scenarios. I mean, you could look at it if, say, Man United went 2-0 up, and look for ways to try and get out of that. And of course, adjust your staking to match. Okay. But anyway, that's what this video was all about. It was a demonstration of how you can create and plan your own football trading strategies. And there are so many things you could do as well. But don't forget, you can, say, combine the goal markets. What if we wanted to take some sort of insurance, lay the draw, use some insurance on the goal markets? You can do that as well. Okay, you could do that. You can combine them. You can put in multiple bets, multiple trades if you want, and all that sort of thing. Okay, the possibilities are absolutely limitless. Okay, but anyway, that was a quick video just demonstrating how you would go about planning and just messing around to try and find how you would use a strategy, and so you're kind of prepared for when you get in the markets. Okay, so yeah, there you have it. I mean, we exited with a green screen in the end. We had to run it a couple of times, but we got there in the end. So this is where the fun really begins, especially if you are a intermediate or expert football trader. This is where we can test out our football trading strategy to the max. Whatever strategy we want to test, we can test it on a real football match. Click on simulate random match, and it's going to generate a match. And we have Lyon against an away team from the French league. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. But anyway, let's just say we wanted to practice with some sort of lay the draw plus insurance. Okay, and like I say, for these videos, it's not about the strategy. It's just showing you what can be done. Okay, when you get this software for yourself, then you can really start to tighten it up. Okay, so we're going to try and put some insurance on £250. And well, it's not even enough, is it, to cover the 0-0? Okay, and then yeah, okay, we're all set in the market. All right, and then we can pretty much trade a 90-minute football match within 90 seconds. So we're going to push this forward, and we're going to look to get out after the first goal. And there you have it. We just click on cash out, and that will lock in our profit. Remember, we lost £300 on the 0.5 goals market. We've locked in £338 on here. £38.71 is our final profit on this one. And then we can just try it again. And we do say it is it is trading a 90-minute match within 90 seconds, but you saw there it's even quicker. Okay, it really depends on the type of strategy you want to try out. Okay, let's try this match. It's generated Huddersfield against Derby. Now, I don't think this one is going to work with the insurance. Okay, so we're looking to cover £2,300. This isn't going to work, is it? Odds are way too short on the 0.5 goals market. But anyway, let's give it a go. This is what the simulator is all about. We're not using our real money. We're going to get out after the first goal. Okay, let's move it forward. We're 10 minutes into the match. It's 0-0. It would be really good if we had some crowd noise and some matches in the background for this, like we're doing one of those YouTube videos. Okay, it's still 0-0. It's 40 minutes in, 50 minutes in, 60 minutes in, and 1-0 to Huddersfield. However, we've lost £300 on the 0.5 goals market. We can lock in £266 on the match odds market, but overall we're actually going to lose £33, or is it £50? Okay. All right. Well, anyway, that's no good. Let's try another one. And this one hopefully should work a lot better. So if you're trying out the nil-nil, lay the draw with nil-nil insurance, then as I did stress in that video, if you saw it on YouTube, is that you want strong favourite like this, like Anderlecht are, and you want those nil-nil odds to be pretty high, or the under 0.5 goals market. So let's see how this one plays out. Okay, so £200, would that cover us? Yeah, pretty much, because we have to take the commission into account. Anyway, let's move this forward. We're going to trade another one. Anderlecht against Lokeren. Let's go. 10 minutes in, 0-0. Nice early goal would be nice. 20 minutes in, it's still 0-0. 30 minutes in, still 0-0. And you can see our overall position is minus £74, but on the match odds, minus £300, okay? So that's something that's interesting. 40 minutes, it's still 0-0. Let's get into half time. And it's still 0-0, but now we could actually just get out for like a scratch trade if you wanted to do that as well. That's also an interesting thought. All right, now we've got the goal to Anderlecht. Let's just press the cash out button, take the profit, and then move on. £312 on the cash out, or £294. Maybe it's taking the commission into account. I have to look into that. But and then we're minus £200 on the match odds, on the goal markets. Okay, and then it is just a case of repeating and trying your strategy out over and over again. You'll start to learn which matches it works best on. You're probably going to spot some flaws, and then you can kind of go back to the drawing board, and then you can tweak it and start again, and then just keep practicing over and over again. You can trade easily 90 matches in 90 minutes if you wanted to, right? So yeah, that is it. That is probably my favorite feature of the software. It is the ability to simulate random matches, and you can trade them in so many different ways and try all sorts of different strategies. And remember, these are all real matches that have happened in the past, so it's not really likely that you're going to remember exactly how these matches played out. So it can be a bit of a challenge as well. I mean, for this example, Anderlecht to lead in 1-0. Could we let that run and maybe take that full £1,000? Who knows? Because it is totally random. Okay, but anyway, that is my favorite, definitely my favorite feature of the football trading simulator, is the simulate random match. And like I said, the intermediates and the experts traders are definitely going to have a lot of fun experimenting with this. And so you really are set to have hours of fun, and you could build a profitable strategy or two using it. Okay, so if you're liking the look of it, you want to get hold of this for yourself. Remember, it's via invite only, and the link to get more information and to get an invite, depending on the availability, should be below this video. Okay, so just click on that link, submit your email address, and then we can send you more information depending on availability. It's obviously dependent on when you are watching this video. Okay, you might be watching this video way in the future when it's not currently available, but if it is available, we will send you an invite. Okay, so look around for that below this video. Put it in your very best email address. It has to be a real email address, otherwise we can't send you the invite to get it. Okay, but anyway, it's been a fun video showing you that. I'm off to play around with it some more, but if you want to keep watching videos, then I've put two more very, very good videos that are worth watching on the screen right now for you. So check those out, and I will see you in the next video.